for me or whatever. Y'all know I can't get it together. I'm gonna stop making excuses. I mean, I normally have excuses, reasons, whatever you want to call it. Sometimes it be the way it be or whatever. I'm regimented, so I certain things won't allow me to get in front of this camera until I get my thing right, until I get it together. But I'm together now. I'm good. Levels is good. Levels is good. Levels is good. It's the Urban Therapy with Sun Show. And today on this glorious Sunday, the 26th of August, huh? It's not the 26th of August. The 26th of July, huh? I'm glad it's the 26th of July because that means that we have plenty of summer left. I don't like when the summers start leaving or whatever. I don't like that. And no, I don't look at Labor Day as the end of summer. Like, where they get that from? You know, some people, some kids ain't even in school yet on Labor Day. So nah, we're not doing that. Summer ends on the 21st of September. So we gonna ride it out. We're gonna fully ride it out until then. What's going on? Stacey White. What's going on? Holding down for the D all day, every day. And my brother Clay. Clay, what up? What up? What up? What up, my dude? What up? What up? What up? Good to see y'all, man. So today on the Urban Therapy with Sun Show, we are talking about knowing who you can trust for sure. Knowing who you can trust for sure. I mean, trust is a big deal. It is. As you navigate your way through life, you have to wonder and find out who you can exactly share sensitive information with. Because at some point in your life, you're going to have some sensitive information. You're going to have some things that, you know, you would rather people not know. Well, at least not everybody. Or you just may want to share with people on your own timeline. You know, you share when you want to share. You tell when you want to tell. But if you have somebody that's always, you know, acting like they can be trusted, acting like they can handle sensitive information, acting like they can be understanding and you know, let things play out the way that you would like for your personal business to play out, or even somebody else's business. Because sometimes you know who you can trust by the way that some people have handled other people's business. Like, you may have known that somebody had done something or been a part of something, and you ask somebody else that was close to them about the situation, and they said, I don't really know that much about that. You know damn well they're lying to you, but you recognize that they were protecting the information of the person that you asked about because they didn't feel like, hey, listen, I've been asked not to divulge that or speak about that or be the one to reveal that. And so I'm not going to do it. So even though you know that I know, I'm not going to tell you what I know until it has been authorized by whoever for me to tell. Or maybe not even then. Their business is their business and my business is my business. So how can I expect you to mind your business if I can't mind my own? So knowing who you can trust. And what I want to get into with this show is, how do you know who you can trust for sure? How do you really know? I mean, we can always speculate on who we think we can trust, but how many of us have gotten our feelings hurt because we really thought that we were dealing with somebody who we could absolutely trust, only to find out that they run their mouth like a carnival barker. They can't be trusted with no information. And how many people do you know come back and tell you, with your nosy ass, all kinds of information about people that they supposed to be close to? You know damn well that those people who gave them the information would not appreciate it if they saw that person running their mouth, or if they knew that everything that is told to that person, they run back and tell you, run back and tell somebody else. And it's never just you who they run back and tell, because if it was only you who they run back and tell, then that would mean that they know for a fact that they can trust you. But if they know for a fact that they can trust you not to say anything, but they can't be trusted not to say anything, how can they be sure? It's like the blind leading the blind a little bit. Maybe not a lot, but a little bit. So that's what we're going to talk about today. We're going to talk about it, be about it, get involved. These puzzle pieces right now, we going to solve. Talk about it, be about it, get involved. These puzzle pieces. Yo, I said talk about it, be about it, get involved. These puzzle pieces right now, we going to solve, y'all. My brother Tom Always Shines just came on this show of mine, and I appreciate you, and I'm inclined to just do my thing. Make sure I grab the ring. You ain't never gotta kiss the ring, because I'm not a king up here, and I do my... You understand how things play out. You know that sometimes you gotta switch and go a different route. When the fork of the road comes, it's not because you always did something that was dumb. Sometimes it just happen like that. You gotta pivot and run it back, rewind that. And when that happens, you might get a little angry, start snapping on people that you really thought that you could trust. And you realize they was never down with us. This is the thing of art, sort of like La Cosa Nostra. Yo, you keep your mouth shut like you're supposed to. It ain't like we got no bodies on our hands, but if I got one on my gun, keep it a secret, son. I can't have you running back to the feds and letting you know where your bodies are. They dead. Yo, let me calm down a bit, because I ain't into no straight street shit. But it could happen to anybody. You just never know who you gotta be. Like this Gotti really thought that he could trust Sammy the Bull, but he's that bullshit that a nigga pulled. And he out of jail now, did a lot of couple of crimes. Yo, you had to know how. The mob ain't what it used to be back in the day. You understand? You listen to me. I'ma be free as long as you get paid. I'ma take a little bit money, but no shade. All right, man. Uncle go to church this Sunday. No, you young. You should go to church. You got a long way ahead of you. You got a long way ahead of you, doggy. You know what I mean? I don't go to church. But shout out to each and everybody out there that go to church. Ain't nothing wrong with church. I like to go to church myself. Hear the word, listen to the choir, but that's where it stops. You know what I'm saying? I like to go to church, listen to the word. If the preacher is good, hear the choir, feel a little spirit. But then I'm out of there. And once they start trying to get my spit, get my pockets and trying to tell me how I'm supposed to talk, live, act, and be. No. The Lord guides me, not the C-H-E. I mean, U-R-C-H. It's cool, though. Listen. Okay, so knowing who you can trust. Knowing who you can trust. Can they trust we? Can they trust us? Can we be the one that got on the bus to the Million Man March back in 95? Yo, I was there. It was showing live. Farrakhan jumped on the stage, started talking about all that crazy shit, turned the page, and Illuminati was like, I can't believe he told the secrets of the earth. Yo, for what it was worth. But y'all ain't believe nothing he said, because you didn't think he was trustworthy, because he bled, not the blood of Jesus. But I understand Weezer's on that other type of shit. Can't believe this. All right. So let's go. Urban Therapy with Sun 752, and this is the Urban Therapy with Sun show. We do this every single Sunday from 2 p.m. till around 3:30-ish. And the reason that we say 3:30-ish is because sometimes it gets so heated that we just have to do a little OT on a Sunday. And it is Sunday. This is the show where adults come out and play with other adults. We laugh, we cry, we argue, fuss and fight, go back and forth with each other, bust it up all crazy. We take an introspective look into our own personality to see the way that the universe projects us into this thing called the world and try to figure out this thing called life. I'm your host, Sun 752, aka Omar with the And if you can't say Omar with the well, then you just say Omar with the R. This is the Urban Therapy with Sun Show. I'm feeling like a real man should. And I hope y'all feeling like real men and women should as well. So we talking about knowing who you can trust for sure. Knowing who you can trust for real. Knowing who you can trust before. Knowing who you can trust still. And how do you know? Think about the people in your life that you trust. You may have been through a time in your life where you trusted a few people. Maybe you had a clan of buddies, homegirls or whatever, that you really trusted when you was coming up. And you probably learned that you couldn't trust everybody. You probably learned, like, out of the 4 or 5 that you used to hang around with, you realized that you could probably only trust 1 or 2. 2 max. 2 max. One thing I learned about hanging with a group of people, a group of friends, is that a group of friends are rarely, at least for me, are rarely all friends. You got pairs. Like, this one is really cool with that one, and this one introduced you to those 2. And so, but the energy attracts, your energy attracts who is going to attract. And you, oh my God, I thought I put the poll up. What the fuck? Damn it. I've been finished it. Oh man, fuck. That was dumb, right? I goofed. I put that poll, I finished that poll like 15 minutes ago. Real trap. I finished the poll like 15 minutes ago, right? No, because I've been on camera for 12 minutes exactly. So I finished the poll 25 minutes ago. 25 minutes ago, dog. But it's all right. We gonna still work it out. You know what I mean? Better late than never. Better late than never. The poll question has to do with, would you date somebody on a serious level who had a history of drug abuse? Would you date an ex-crackhead? Would you? Have you? Are you the crackhead? The ex one? Well, I do believe that each and every person out there deserves a fresh start in life. But I also believe that you have to be the one to give yourself that fresh start. Nobody can grant you your past. They can't do that. Nobody can grant you your past. Your history. Nobody can give that to you. That happened. That was given by others. You solidified that yourself. But your present condition, that's on you. The future, that's on you. There'll be some other players who will have an impact on your future as well. But that's all on you, son. That's all on you. But knowing who you can trust. How do you know? How can we ever be sure about who we can trust in this world? Do you have a test that you perform for that you make other people perform in order to know whether you can trust them or not? Like, have you ever done this? Have you ever given out false information? Have you ever given out false information to somebody just to see if that false information will come back? And if that happens, does that mean that person is totally unworthy of trust? Like, is that a done deal? Like, look, I gave you a chance to be trusted, but I see for a fact that trust is not for you. Trust is not for you. I mean, and if you have to give out that test of trust, that trust exam, what does that say about where you have been? What does that say about you, period? What does it say? Because it could say a variety of things. It could say a variety of things. Trust means a lot of different things to a lot of different people. It really does. Like, the way I might trust and the situations where I might grant trust in somebody might be totally different than yours. Yeah, I've known people who said that, listen, I don't trust anybody. I got mad trust issues. I got mad trust issues. We're probably going to have a conversation about the difference between trust and reliability at some point. Trust and reliability. You know that, I don't know if y'all have ever seen this exercise where to see if you can trust a person, somebody will stand behind somebody and fall back and see if the person who is in back of them will catch them. So they'll like, fall back. And the person that's standing behind them is supposed to catch them. That's supposed to be a test of trust. Is that a reliable test of trust? I'm not sure. But I think that that's more like a reliability thing than a trust thing. Because just because I grabbed you and prevented you from falling and hurting yourself doesn't mean that you can trust me. It just means that you can rely on me to be there to make sure that you don't get hurt in certain situations. Does that mean that it covers all situations? Like, I might prevent you from getting hurt, but it doesn't mean that I won't tell on you. It don't mean that, And telling on somebody means what? Like, there's a difference between telling your spouse, telling your love, telling your family, telling your brothers or your sisters something, telling your friends something, and telling the cops, telling the feds, telling the news programs. There's a difference. At least I see it as being a difference. Y'all see the difference? I think it is. I think it is. Let me make sure y'all here because the chat got awfully quiet. We there? We good? Are we good? Somebody just write anything in the chat so I know that the chat is still active. Because sometimes, I know my internet has been known to get a little janky. So I just want to make sure that everybody is okay. Now, y'all can write anything in the chat that y'all want. Like, I don't care what it is. Just let me know that the chat is up and it's clean. We good. We good. We good. We good. I don't know. Still ain't see nothing. All right. Did 76ers get LeBron James? You know they did. But what does that mean? Are we automatically going to the finals? Like, are we going to finally make it past the second round? Are we? I don't know. We talking about knowing who you can trust for sure. I'm not going to lie, man. I don't trust the Sixers to make it past the second round. They haven't earned my trust. They haven't made it past the second round since 2001 when they made it to the finals. And it was a 5-game sweep. Everybody wants to talk about that game where AI stepped over Tyronn Lue. I'm like, great. You won one game. Well, I guess at the time it was kind of monumental because the Lakers were just sweeping the playoffs. 4-5. But I mean, if the series had ended 4-2, I wouldn't have been that mad. But we didn't even sniff the finals after that. We ain't come close again. So to me, it seemed a little fluky. And I went to all of those home games of that playoff series. Not with the Lakers, but when we played Charlotte and when we played Toronto. It was a good time. It was a good time at the time, but But I don't trust. And thank y'all for just letting me know that the chat was still active. I appreciate that. Make sure y'all hit the like button though. Make sure y'all hit the like button. I know we light right now, but it doesn't always tell the whole story. But yeah, I don't trust the Sixers to make it past the second round. For me, it's all wait and see, wait and see. We gotta wait and see. I'm not convinced yet. We'll wait and see. Maybe, perhaps, could be. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see. Well, I'm gonna get my chair. I'm gonna go over here and get my chair. And then we're gonna have this conversation about trust. Knowing who you can trust for sure. This is what I would like to know. Who in your life would you say that you can trust for sure? Like, who is your number one go-to trust outlet? Like, who is the one person in your life who you can say without a shadow of a doubt that you can trust? And yeah, I'm going to say this, man, and I don't want to get all crazy sentimental and all of that. But, a lot of people's main confidant in their lives have been like either their parents or their grandparents, especially grandparents. A lot of people have expressed that, their grandparents, their grandmother, especially grandmothers. Grandmothers get all the love in the world and often deservedly so. My condolences to anybody who has a bad grandmother. Y'all know who and what I'm talking about. A bad grandmother will ruin a family. They'll turn a family inside out. If you know what I mean. There's nothing worse than a bad granny. But there's so many good grandparents out there, and so many people have grown up under the care of their grandparents. And so their grandparents may have been the one or two people in their lives that they felt like they could tell anything and it wouldn't go any farther than it needed to go, or they would always get the help that they needed. And, we all get in trouble in our lives. Trouble takes on different forms for a lot of people. Some people get in legal trouble. Some people get in personal trouble. Some people get in family trouble. Some people get in trouble in school, social trouble. And having that person that you can go to and rely on to give you the help that you need in those times when you really needed help. Yeah, it's something that's not easy to trade in. So when we talk about, let's say your grandparents. Hold on now. Why didn't I hear a ring? Hold on. I didn't hear a phone ring. Wait. Let me find out what's goody. What's goody over here? Hold on. Okay. So if that's done, let me see. Caller, hold on a second. Okay. You called in a minute ago?
Yes, I did.
All right. Thanks for calling in. I'm sorry I missed your call earlier. What's on your mind this afternoon? What's good?
Hello. Happy Sunday.
Happy Sunday to you.
Mm-hmm. For me, there's levels of trust because I have been so broken.
Mm,
People have hurt me when it came to trust. So even in my family, there's levels. It's only certain people I trust certain things and certain information with.
mm-hmm.
If you want to talk about my family, but when it talks about friends or whatnot, when you show me who you are, I believe you. I do not be like, "Well, maybe he should be, maybe I'm second guessing it, or maybe I'm second guessing her." No, you are who you show me to be.
Mm-hmm.
I have been hurt that way. And so it's like there's levels. Now I love my mother's side of the family. They have been good to me. But there's certain things I trust them with, certain information I trust them with, certain people I would trust them with. Because I know what they're capable of what they show me. Sometimes all you gotta do is sit back. You ain't gotta put no test. You ain't gotta get no test. Sit back and pay attention.
Okay. Okay.
I think when you put somebody through a test, that's controlling and very insecure.
Now, how do you know whether you can trust a person or not?
I don't know. First of all, God is the head of my life. Always have been. I trust Him first, and then I trust Stacy second, and then I trust the person first. Because you never know if they're going to come through or not. You hope they will come through. You pray that they will come through. Most of the time in my case, I have been lucky when it came to my family on my mother's side.
Mm-hmm.
They have came through for me. But for situations like if I bring somebody around, let's say I bring a boyfriend around, whatnot. How do I know I need it? I could trust him, but how do you know if I can't trust my family with them?
Trust them in what kind of way?
Like, I don't know if there's seducing spirits on my family. I don't know what they would tell him. When it comes to me, they don't know if I done told him all of my business.
Mm-hmm.
So it's different levels to trust.
Okay. So, what about trusting him? Being able to trust? I guess you're referring to your female family members, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we don't have none of that in my family. Not that I know of.
Okay. So, questioning whether you can trust them is one thing, but in a situation like that where you're worried about infidelity or whatever, that would probably have to be trust on both ends. Like,
Yes, that's a lot of trust. And first of all, I done had boyfriends, but they never went home. I don't know how I did it.
Okay.
I'm one of the ones that never took. Only one person got behind that door and seen my mama and mingle with my mama. Well, two. I can say two. I say two. And the only reason why two did because one lived next door, so I ain't had no choice. But the rest of them Negroes, they didn't get past. They weren't worthy enough to come see my family.
Okay.
If I don't think you worthy enough to see my family, you ain't getting past that door.
Okay, but
that's the way I think. They don't think like that in my family. My family believe in bringing everybody home.
Okay, cool. But what I'm saying is, wouldn't you have to trust your man too? Like, have the men?
Exactly. I didn't trust them enough to be around my family like that.
All right. So I'm just trying to make sure that we understand. So you're saying you didn't trust them to be around your family because you thought. Well, why? Why didn't you trust them to be around your family?
I just didn't. I didn't think they was worthy enough to meet my family. I just didn't. I was young and, but when I did find somebody, to mingle with my family and whatnot, it was okay. It felt relief, and then my mother approved of them, So that was good too. Because I trust my mother's character.
Okay.
But she approved.
I'm trying to make sure that we're talking about trust. Because
We're talking about trust. There's different ways you can trust, though. That's what I'm saying. There's different levels. It's different levels for everybody. Family, friends, lovers. It's different ways.
Mm-hmm. So
there's different levels and different ways.
Is trust and reliability the same thing for you?
If I tell you, give you some money to go to the store and give me a candy bar and bring that candy bar back within a timely manner, yeah.
I think that's trust.
I always use that, right?
You always use that?
I always use that. I have told, this is not the first time I told you about the candy bar story.
Okay. But what I'm saying is, to me, that sounds like a trust issue. A reliability issue would be more like,
well, a reliability.
Well, I haven't talked about reliability yet, though.
Okay.
But what I'm saying is, if I'm asking you the difference, or if you see a difference between trust and reliability, I think that you just gave me an example of trust, because you have to put money in somebody's hand and expect them to come back and give you back the correct change. That is trust. Mm-hmm. Reliability might have just been them being there to go to the store for you in the first place. Mm-hmm. So, but if we're talking about you not trusting the men in your life to be around your family, I'm not from the example that you gave with that. I'm not sure if we're talking about trust or reliability. We might be talking about something else, because it sounds to me like, it doesn't sound to me like you were, and you can correct me on this, but it didn't sound like you were worried about what they would do around your family. It sounded to me like you didn't think that they were good enough to be around your family.
Yeah, I didn't think they were good enough. That's why I didn't go by my family. So they didn't go around my family.
Okay.
And I feel like they were good enough to be around my family. That's what I said.
Okay, but what does that have to do with trust? I'm asking you about trust.
One, you could trust a man to a certain point, if they're good enough to, trustworthy enough to be around your family, all kind of stuff. I done heard all kind of stories off of myself what happened when families and extended families get together. Now, I'm glad I haven't experienced that, because I don't bring everybody home to be able to experience what some other people have experienced. So,
okay,
I don't know what you want or what not.
Well, no, I'm just asking. What would you need to trust him to do or not do around your family?
He just need to be loyal to me, and I should be able to trust him. Just like what I'm giving to him, he need to give that back.
Okay.
Because it's not easy for me to give that to him. I don't know if he don't know that or not, but loyalty, trust, and it's telling me things that I don't even really. My friends know me, a side of me that my family really don't know.
Okay.
I think I told you that before.
Mm-hmm.
It's just because I don't hang out with my family like that, so they don't get a chance to see that side of me. Well, I might tell my friends a little bit more, because there's certain things I can tell my peoples that I know I can't talk to, because they'll throw it back up at me and it'll hurt.
Okay.
When they throw it back up at me, and I didn't tell them for them to throw it back up at me and hurt me. And I don't think they do it intentionally. They know they're doing it or not. I don't know if they know they're doing it, but I know what I can tell them and what I can't tell them. And I think that's from me sitting back, not testing them. That's just me sitting back watching what to do and what not to do.
Hold on a second, all right?
I don't want to feel a certain kind of way.
Hold on, I got another call on the line. Hold on a second, all right?
Okay.
Okay, hold on a second. Hey, caller, what's good?
You got it. What's going on? Oh,
All right, we good?
yeah.
All right, I'm gonna click you on.
Why you laughing? What you doing?
No reason. No reason. No reason.
You trust me to behave, don't you?
I trust you.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Hold on. All right.
Mhm.
All right. We have another caller on the line. Okay. So back to what we were talking about. So all right. When it comes to trust, what do you think? What do you think? Let me ask you this: what's your biggest criteria when it comes to trust? What's the most important thing for you?
When it comes to trust, when I tell him something, it shouldn't have to go everywhere. I shouldn't have to hear from somebody else what I done told him. Because I could have been telling him that in confidence.
Okay. Okay. So your concern is people who you are supposed to be able to trust going back and telling people things about you that are none of their business. Is that right?
Exactly.
Okay. All right.
Yep.
Now that's the biggest factor for trust as far as you're concerned.
And if the person tell me they're gonna do something, do it. If they can't do it, please call and tell me they can't do it. Do not just not call and tell me they can't do it.
Okay.
You know, I don't like that. I don't like that from nobody. I don't like that from my family. I don't like that from my mates. When my cousin can't do something for me, he'll call and let me know so it won't be no confusion.
Mm.
And it's fine. He'll do it another day. And it's fine. Or do it another time.
Okay.
I'm not gonna trip like that. Just don't have me waiting on you. I don't like you sitting waiting on nobody. That's to me, that's like telling me to kiss your butt.
Well, that's why I ask about the whole reliability thing, because, being able to count on somebody sounds more like a reliability issue more than a trust issue. You understand what I'm saying? And now I'm not saying I'm right about that, but I think that it's necessary for us to take a look at both of them and decide, like, what does it sound like to you?
Well, see, I'm learning as I'm talking to you about it because I didn't know that there was a difference.
Well, yeah. Sometimes even with reliability, it might be trust mixed up in there. Like let's take a scenario like this. Let's say I take you to a function, maybe like something at my job, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, so I know that you getting there, you getting there, or being able to get there is a reliable issue. You know what I mean, that's a reliability issue. It could be. So I might not have to worry about that. But can I trust you not to act a fool in front of my colleagues? You know what I mean?
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, okay, yeah. I won't do that. I just wait till I, get home with the dude, and then I do it behind it. I would never do it.
But here's the thing. The thing is, that might be a trust and reliable issue mixed together. Like, maybe I can trust you not to act a fool and make me look bad in front of my coworkers, but at the same time, I can rely on you to be cool. You understand? So there might be both things sort of mixed in there. But I might have to I might have to determine which one is the most important thing. What
But
would you?
here's the thing too. Now, what are your coworkers saying to the person? Is you going to pick up on it, or do I really have to wait and be like, that wasn't right what that person said?
I
I
might
don't
not be.
care.
Me personally, I probably am not gonna trust my coworkers because you know what I trust them to do. I trust them to be nosy. I trust them to be backhanded. I trust them to try to get information that I probably didn't share with them. I trust them to do that. That's not real trust,
Okay.
but I know I can trust and rely on them to be that way because they're curious. People want to know things
Okay.
about you when you have an air of mystery about you. You know what I mean? So some
Yeah,
people will.
I know. I tend to know that because I'm very I don't know how God is really using me. I'm very personal on the just really personal. Period. Even with my family, I'm personal.
All
So
right.
I've
Per,
learned over the years that everybody is not happy for you. So
right. Now, is that personal or private?
on both sides. So I learned to just sit back and when God tell me to reveal it, I will reveal it.
Okay.
I don't go ahead and I don't go ahead of him.
Okay. All right. That's cool. All right. We have a caller on the
But
line. Caller with the last numbers. Wims. What's good? Welcome to the Urban Therapy with Sun Show.
What's up, Bo? Happy Sunday. Hey, chat. What's up, family? Others. What's going on? How you doing?
I'm feeling like a real man should, you know, each and every day. Everything good.
Okay.
So on this
What you
on
got
this
for me?
on this issue of trust, like,
Okay.
we talking about knowing who you can trust for sure. What does that mean to
Mm-hmm.
you? Like knowing, do you have people in your life who you know for sure that you can trust?
Oh,
Or
yeah, I can trust my dad, my son, and my best friend.
okay, all right. So at least two people.
Three. My dad, my
Oh,
son, and my best friend.
oh, okay. My bad. I missed your son. All right. So
Mm-hmm.
what makes them trustworthy to you?
Because I can share anything with them and know that it's going to stay there. It's not, I don't have to worry about it being broadcast around the world. I don't have to worry about it being shared in places it shouldn't be. I don't worry about it have to, the information going outside of the discussion we're having are in that situation that we're dealing with. I mean, and here, let me be clear. I'm not talking about everything. I'm just talking about sensitive things. Like, of course, my dad is going to tell my siblings if I'm scared of a praying man. That's going to happen. So something like that, I cannot trust my dad to keep that to himself because he's too tickled by it. So I know he's going to share that. Um, or my son, if he feels like he is not getting his way or I'm mistreating him for whatever reason because I didn't listen to him, I can almost guarantee he is going to share that with other members of the family just because he needs to get it off his chest. And I can always guarantee anything I tell my best friend, she's going to share with her husband, most of it anyway. So I'm not worried about those kind of things, but sensitive things, I know it will stay where it is until it needs to go someplace else.
Okay. Okay.
And I also trust these three people with my life. I trust my life with these three, and I trust the lives of these three with each other.
Now, exactly what does that mean to trust somebody with your life?
That means if something happens, these are the three I can guarantee are going to make sure I'm safe.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to be concerned enough that they will step into a situation to ensure my safety.
Okay. Okay, so what would be with a lover, a man, a spouse, whatever? What would be the expectation of trust that you would have for him?
I would trust that he's going to be honest and straightforward, and we're going to be on the up and up, and there are no going to be no games played. That would be my expectation. Like, I shouldn't have to ask you if you're unhappy. You should be able to tell me. I shouldn't have to worry about you out here in these streets. Because if that's what you want to do, stay in the streets. You should never have to question loyalty. That's my expectation because that's what I get. And if we aren't on the same with that, then what are we doing? Because I can waste my time with somebody else for alone.
Right.
And I definitely don't want you to waste your time. So that's an expectation. That's what it should be anyway. I should be able to trust you with everything. If I trust you to lay down in the bed and sleep with me at night, then I should be able to trust you to do the right things in the daytime.
I agree.
And if I can't trust that, if I can't trust my purse around you, I can't trust my friends around you, I can't trust my cat around you, I can't trust my son around you, then what the fuck are we doing?
You actually just said a mouthful. You know what I mean? Because, I never really thought about that. But then again, there have been times I've thought about it. You when you said, trust your son around people, I think that's something that every parent has to take into consideration. When you say trust my cat around you, yeah, how do you know somebody ain't going to, try to abuse your animal when you're not when you're not around or something like that because they secretly don't like animals. Personally, I couldn't deal with anybody who doesn't like animals at all. You know what I mean? But there are different levels for different people. And even if you don't like animals, it doesn't necessarily mean that you would abuse them. But I do need to know, or would need to know, that the things that are important to me are safe in your hands.
Exactly.
But when we're talking about...
A guy one time told me, if he comes over, what am I doing with my cat? I said, nothing. He's like, you got to put him up. I said, this is his house too. I'm not putting him anywhere. He's like, so how am I going to come and visit? I said, shit, I guess I'll visit you when you go to your hotel room. He's like, so I can't come to your house because you got a problem with my cat? You can't. He's like, well, I don't know how this is going to work. I said, I guess it won't. That was the end of it. What are we talking about? This is my cat's house. He lives here. They got to fetch you. No.
So if we're talking about knowing who you can trust for sure, how do we get there? How do you know who you can trust for sure? Do you wait it out and see if certain situations occur to whereas you can see a person is trustworthy, or do you observe them in a certain type of way to see how they deal with other situations, to see if they're trustworthy? Do you give them a test, like, to test, to see whether they will act a certain way in situations to see if they're trustworthy?
No, I don't. In a good world, we wouldn't have to play out those kind of games. But unfortunately, we live in the world we live in. I do believe eventually people take their mask off and the truth comes out.
Mm-hmm.
You get some signs early on. You get warning signs early on, like this guy about the cat. I got a warning sign early on. There's no need to move forward. Mm-hmm. But sometimes you don't get the warning sign early on. People find out things about their mate later down the line that we're all like, damn, how did you not know? But then there are chances they didn't know. We know a bunch of people we see on TV all the time in the news who have been married to a psychopath and didn't know. But they trusted him all this time. And you see them standing on the witness saying, he would have never done that, but then you find out they do and they have. So I don't think there's any real anything that gives us what we need for someone who is just harboring a man, someone who worked hard at hiding their true identity. But I do believe when you start seeing the signs, you need to take heed to them.
Yeah.
This age. Like, we're in our 20s, maybe not so much, because I don't know about anybody else, but I wouldn't let you visit anybody in my 20s. But now, you're going to be 55. Hey, why your screen blurred? What's happening?
Huh?
Oh, that was my television. I thought something was going on with my television because I saw a blur.
Oh, you behind. Your TV is way behind. That happened like a minute ago. It's serious.
Okay. So, but at this age, when I start seeing the warning signs, I'm out. Like, I'm not going to waste my time with that. Because eventually, somebody who works hard to keep a mask on, they can't keep it on for long. So if you start showing me signs when I can't trust you, then I'm not wasting my time with you. But then again, unfortunately, there are moments where they work hard at it. And that's when you really have to do your due diligence. Like I am one, I'm going to check you out first. I don't give a fuck. I'm not going to play with you. Let me go look and see what your name is and look you up. I am doing that first. And then we'll see how things go. And then we'll see how you act. Like if you're very secretive, I'm not doing with you. I'm not doing that. If you're the type of person got to flip your phone over every time it rings, what are we doing? If I don't get to meet any of your people, what are we doing? If I find out your name is something different, what are we doing? So I think you just have to keep these things at the forefront of your thoughts. Like again, I'm going to be 55. What am I waste my time for? I can waste my time alone. I don't have to waste it with somebody doing stupid stuff.
Wait a minute, you're not 55 yet.
No, I'll be 55 in about a week and a half.
Yeah, well, just be careful. Just be careful.
I want to say something. I want to piggyback off of her. By me having God on my life, and I sit back and watch people. I sit back who I have in my life and just watch them, and I don't have to test them or anything. Sometimes God will drop information right in your face, and you don't, especially if you're not the kind of person that go looking. And then you the kind of person that God would give a dream to, or He will just send information, especially if they ain't told you their name or anything. He'll sit there and drop it right in your lap, and He'll want to know what you're going to do about that if you want to do anything about it.
So you think? Is that God giving you a test of trust in other people? Do you think?
I think God is protecting me, not for a test for other people, protecting me so I can be aware.
Okay.
He gives me warning, because I had something happen to me yesterday, and if God hadn't gave me a warning before it happened, I would have been effed up, because I'm still going through it now, and I just can't believe how people act on the internet. But they is who they is. But God gave me a warning before, and if God hadn't conditioned my heart of what's going to happen, before it took place, I think I would have been messed up.
Let me,
yeah.
Let me ask y'all this. I want to ask you, Stacey. I want to ask you, Kim, and I want to ask everybody in the chat if y'all would please participate. Would you consider trust to be more important in your life when you were like younger, like in your teens and 20s, maybe 30s, or now that you might have like four or five decades under your belt? So is trust?
I wish you was. Yeah, I wish you was younger. I wish I had, but see,
No. Listen to what I'm. Hold on. Make sure you understand the question. I'm asking you from your history. Was trust more important when you were younger, or is it more important now?
It was more important when I was younger.
Okay. How come?
Because you thinking you trusted somebody and they ain't not who they is. I trust my best friend, but my best friend tried to sleep with my man.
Okay. I got you.
I trusted her, and lucky he was a man enough to turn down the advances, and bitch did it right in front of my face.
Okay. What about you, Kim?
I think that depends on the who. Like younger, it was important that I trusted my family. But now at this age, trust is more important with everyone else. Because I'm past the family part. I'm sorry. I'm past the relative part.
Okay.
So when I was younger, I think it would have been important when it comes to the people I'll get related to, people I share blood with. But now, at this age, it's everybody else where trust is more important. And it's because I live life. I've taken some time to grow into who I am and experienced enough things to know, hey, there's some value to trusting the people around you in your circle.
Mm-hmm.
And if I don't have that, because my circle is small with people I actually consider trustworthy. So if there's a Judas in the camp, let me go and remove that person now. That it means a lot more now than it used when I was younger. And when I say relatives, I mean as a kid, as a child, as a preteen, as a teen, that was important. Nothing better than those people being. So I mean, for those people being in it is important. But it's not this way. That trust level is different. And it is valid and more important to people I talk to versus the people I relate to.
Interesting. Let me see. Clay says when he was younger, and he says trust as an actual thought. After you experience life, things usually surface a lot more transparently. See right through all of the smoke screens. And Emily says younger, not so much now. People are fickle. When I think about this, for me, there are a lot of. I'm not sure if I can answer this question cleanly. You know what I mean? Because when I was younger, trust was important to me because I was establishing myself. I was building myself. I was very image conscious. So I didn't want to be around with people who were going to make me look bad. So I may have put my trust in some people that didn't deserve it. But I've never been that much of a trusting person, or should I say, I didn't really rely on a whole lot of people to guard me or protect me. But I look at it like now. See, the thing is, your information was a lot more secure back in the day before the internet. Even in the early days of the internet, we didn't have social media and stuff like that where the whole world could see you look bad. You understand what I mean? So even though I was younger, less mature, and more insecure, I felt like I had more to lose back then. When in reality, I have a whole lot more to lose now. Now, I could lose my paycheck over some bad information on the internet. You understand what I mean? So I can't have people like even just doing this. With every employment situation that I have, this might not sit well. So people who might try to make me look bad, even just doing this, could hurt me. Even if they didn't terminate me or anything like that, I might be in an uncomfortable situation. So I have more to lose now, but now I rely less on trust, because in my 20s and definitely in my teens and 20s, I really gave a fuck about how I looked to people, sounded to people, presented myself to people. That was important to me. In my 30s, that was sort of like the bridge in my adulthood between my childhood and my adulthood. So the 30s got me to where I'm like, I don't give a fuck about what you think as much as before, because I don't really think that you can hurt me. And what I've done, I have nothing to be ashamed of. And that's another thing. When you've done things that could come back and bite you in the ass, you have to rely on trust more. Like, if I had some secrets that I really didn't want to come out, like being a pedophile or gay or being a thief, untrustworthy, you know what I mean? Like, things that would question my integrity. Yeah, I have a lot more to lose now, but because I don't have things like that in my history, I don't really give a fuck. Whereas, even though I didn't have those things in my history back then, I was worried about somebody trying to slander like that, because when people didn't know me, and sometimes when people don't know you, and you don't have to know a person to not like them. You find that out the hard way. Or should I say, people don't have to know you to not like you. And you find that out the hard way. I know I've had a lifetime of finding that out the hard ways. So I definitely relied on trust more in my younger years, even though I didn't get it. The illusion of it was there, but it didn't pass the test that it needed to pass, that I needed it to pass. You understand what I mean? Whereas now, I probably can trust a whole lot of people. I don't know about a whole lot of people because my circle's small as shit. But I would say that the people closest to me now, I definitely trust them. The people closest to me back in the day were not necessarily able to be trusted or relied on in some cases. You know what I'm saying? So it's weird. It's weird. Hold on. Let me see. Hold on. Before you go, I just want to see what some other people in the chat might have been saying. Bump City said when he was younger, he said, I've been trusting to a fault. I used to think of myself as the Biz Markie of Ferris Bueller type, cool with almost everybody I was acquainted with. Oh, I'm cool with almost everybody I was acquainted with. It could have been validation issues. Okay, Clay said that right there sums it up.
To read Carrie too, because hers was very valid.
Huh?
I said go back and read Carrie too, because hers is very valid.
Okay.
Like, that is where I feel.
Her comment wasn't there a few seconds ago. It just popped up. Now that I'm a developed human, trust is more important because it's an indication of what you think of me as a person and whether or not you should be in my life. Deep. That's deep right there. And it's true. So, yeah, I mean, there are no wrong answers in this. You can't account for everybody's experience, but when I think about this whole thing, when I think about the title of this show and what the premise is, we're talking about knowing who you can trust for sure. Not just, I'm not talking about what you think. I'm talking about what you know. And it's when it comes to trust of other people or other things or other entities, it's not always easy to know for sure. You can think for sure, but knowing for sure normally will take an experience that you have that will solidify it. Without that, I don't know. For me, what were you saying?
Well, even with you speaking about us not having the internet long time ago, and of course where we are now, that's all any trust in the world outside of our world has been over. Because we have a lot more to lose. Because look at the situation now. Anybody can randomly get all of the information about your property and start calling you, start texting you. You never have to meet this person, give them your telephone number or anything, but they have all your information enough to call you, to text you, to email you, to tell you about your property and ask questions about your property where you live.
Mm-hmm.
So all that is out the door. It's over with. And I know we grew up in the time when we had the white pages and the yellow pages that had your address in it. Yeah, that was just your information, your address and your telephone number. Now these motherfuckers are calling you and texting you, and it's like, okay, I don't feel safe. And then my honest truth, as a woman, I don't feel safe that any random ass person has access to this much information about me. Yeah. So I don't trust that the government, I don't trust that the city, the state, I don't trust that any place that I live that I'm safe because of this. Because anybody on this planet has access to me. So I don't trust my own safety because of that. So I have to trust the people I trust in my tight-knit circle. Because if I can't trust them, I can't trust anybody. And that's why the circle of trust is so small and so tight. And some say I'm an asshole about it. So I am. And
I mean, I totally can relate to what you're saying, because at least before they could find out your information, but at least they had to leave their home to do it. They had to go and actually check records and shit like that. You know what I mean? So it wasn't as fast. Like now, you know, that Google thing, that thing crazy. You know what I mean? And it's I would say that it's getting.
Google. I do not like Google. When we had the yellow page, I don't mean to cut you off. We had the yellow page, and my mother did not have us in the yellow pages or the white pages. We had a choice. We didn't do it. And now somebody could just, I took all of my information down, but that don't still stop them from directing me and calling me.
Well, with the white pages before, you could pay $1 to have your name removed from the white pages, but that wouldn't take effect until the next year because the white pages only came out once a year. So for this year, people they have your phone number and your address. But like at least if you changed your number, it wouldn't be updated in the database in the white pages. Now you change your number, they'll find it. If you put it on the internet anywhere. Huh?
In 5 minutes. In 5 minutes they find it. Like Bob said, you can't trust your car. We can't even trust right now in our home. Like right now, we can't trust where we are in our home. I'm going to tell you, I have an old, this TV is probably from 1979, Sylvania television. Now, they've gotten rid of analog television, so it's all digital. So
I got one.
A converter box attached to it.
Uh-huh. I said, I got one. I still got a tube TV.
Yeah, I got a converter box and an antenna attached to it because this is the television I use to watch local stations, and then my Amazon Fire, that's for everything else. So just out of nowhere, I'm on the phone talking to my friends about a vitamin. Never seen a commercial a day in my life for this vitamin. Within 15 minutes of us getting off of the television, getting off the phone, a fucking commercial came on my tube TV with this vitamin. I went and looked everywhere to see if I could find that commercial. Couldn't find it anywhere. Told my friend, she was like, next time it comes on, take a picture. I waited and waited and waited and waited. Never came on again. But it was so strange right after that. I said, this is why I know we can't trust the devices in our, we can't, and even though they say you can do this, that, and third to turn them off, that is not factual.
First of all, the thing is, You can turn it off. But you have to turn off every device signed in your name.
And you have
So I got 2 PCs, 3 laptops, 5 phones, 4 tablets. I ain't no escape. Ain't no escape. It'd be different if they made it so across the board. If you change your Google privacy settings, then it would apply across the board. But it don't work that way. So you got to do each and every one. If they say, they don't want you to get away though.
No.
They don't want you to get away, and they're not going to. They got you.
I think that's why trust is more important now than at this age than it was. Again, it was important to me when it came to the people I was related to. It was important for their trust because I'm a kid. I have to trust these people to protect me. This is about safety. This is about helping me develop into a good citizen, responsible person. So I had to trust those people as a kid and in my youth. But now at this age, I decide where my level of trust is going to be. And if anybody steps outside of that, then you stay on the other side. You get to watch my play from outside. You don't get to participate. I might let you get into the nosebleed section, but that's where it is. You don't get to sit near the stage. You don't get to come on the stage. You definitely don't get a chance to come in the back, on the back end of it. You don't get to come into the wardrobe room. You don't get to do any of those things. You don't get to go with us to the after party. You don't get to celebrate the good parts with me. You don't. And I'll be every bitch in the book out of your mouth because of it. And I'm okay with it. So that trust makes a whole new difference at this age. And that section of the world is just tiny. It's very tiny.
Yeah,
And even with that, not that I don't trust these people, but I trust them to react a certain way. I still have to limit some things I share with the people I trust. For example, when I had the accident in the basement, I told no one because I knew that would send everybody into this big panic and there'd be all these conversations and all this stuff I didn't care to hear about. So I had to limit who I shared that kind of stuff with. And it's not because I didn't want anybody to be supportive. It's just because, hey, let me get through this and live, please, without somebody thinking they have to come and baby me. Because we don't want that. So even in that, it's just certain things that you be mindful of who you trust with stuff. So, and it's not always bad. It's just because sometimes you don't want to hear shit. Because sometimes we're so grown that we want to be grown.
No, my thing is, I don't have to trust anybody that I don't know. Like, why would I?
I don't know. I definitely don't.
You know what I mean? My question is about the people who I do know. Now, I know I can't trust everybody who I know, but I need to be able to know for sure that I can trust the people that I do trust. So, like, all right, take like my mom. I definitely trust my mom, but I don't trust her 100% because I know that information with her don't stay with her. So, whereas I know she wouldn't tell the cops on me, everything else is pretty much fair game. It's family business. You know what I mean? So, I mean, what can I say? You know what I mean? Like, I would love to be like, I would love to be able to say, yo, I can trust her with my life. And I can say I can trust her with my life, but I can't trust her with my info necessarily. You know what I'm saying? Because like I said, it becomes family business. And you could best believe I'm going to get a call from somebody else in the family about whatever I told my mom. And at this point, I know it doesn't matter what it is. You know what I'm saying? It's going to become a family situation. So how can I say for sure that it's not going to make it outside of the family? So I just try to personally keep myself out of situations where well, let me just put it this way. I got to learn how to keep my mouth shut. or you know what I mean, I can't expect anybody else to do it if I can't do it at all. But you know, I still trust her.
Both said your mom would be like, girl, let me tell you what Omar did.
I'm trying to tell you. That phone going look, soon as I'm out of her sight, that phone getting picked up. Your brother in trouble. It don't matter what it is. You know what I mean? Like she'd be like, your sister's sick. She had me thinking that she on a deathbed. I'd be like, yo, Shell, what's up with you? You all right? Yeah, I got a little case of the sniffles or whatever. I think my allergies acting up. I'm like, that's it? Like, yeah. Did you go to work today? No, I took the day off, but I already had that day. That was one of my PTO. You know what I'm saying? Shit like, I'm like, huh? But
my dad does that. My dad does that. He'll have everybody thinking I'm dead over here, and it's like, that's not happening. Like the time it was announcing here, and I was kidding. And so I called him and I'm crying, and he's like, let me get my shoes on because somebody's breaking in the house over Kim. And he called everybody saying it. I'm like, I never told you that, sir. What are you doing?
You know how on the internet, somebody would put like, please, I need y'all prayers. Such and such just went to the emergency room. You know what I mean? That's pretty much my mom without the internet. You know what I'm saying? So it's a situation. But like I said, besides that, I do trust her. It's weird because for my life, I know I can trust her and I know I can rely on her too. And that's probably where most of my trust comes from. Like I ain't never got to worry about, now that her mobility is limited. But if I really need her for any situation, she's going to make it. I could be stranded on the road 500 miles away. She going to take care of that. She's going to call somebody who can get to me, and help out. So, she's not the type that would just wash her hands up like, well, what can I do? She don't do that. So because of that reliability when it comes to her, it has built a feeling of trust. You know what I mean? So I'm like, I better not tell her I'm having problems at my job. But if I'm late on my electric bill or something like that, she's gonna be like, "What? You need some money?" There's never gonna be no hesitation when it comes to that. So trust takes on a lot of different forms. Takes on a lot of different forms, and so knowing for sure that you can trust somebody is going to be different from person to person. But I think that for every person to person, you need to make sure, because if you can't trust a person for sure, it's going to come out at the worst time in the worst way. And who needs another disappointment on their hands?
Yeah. I found out all I needed to know when my mother passed. That's when I found out who I could trust and who I couldn't trust. I found out who I could trust when I had that freak accident. I know about that, who I could trust and who I could rely on. It's different levels. And my mother told me a long time ago in the kitchen when she was washing the dishes, she was like, Stacey, you can't tell everybody your blessings. Everybody is not happy for you. You gonna learn. And I did learn. I have friends around me. Sometimes I don't be saying, they be asking certain things. I try to say as less as I can. I tell them sometimes I tell them what they need to know, but sometimes I chill on it. And then sometimes they don't believe you anyway, because me and my mother was telling our close friend And she went and Googled the information. I was like, why would you go on Google and find out what's going on when we done told you? You know, that kind of stuff. People doing that pocket watching, that program, it still sticks with me. And I'm still going through it. They be watching, you know, so it's like, when God told me to show, I show. When God told me to trust, I trust. When I'm just finding out what reliability is. So I try to get into that more better. But life taught me who to trust and who not to trust. When you show me who you are, I don't try to, well, forgive and maybe that's not their way or whatnot. No, you showing me who you is. Mm-hmm. You know, and my friend betrayed me. She had been leading up to it. It had been warning signs. God had been showing me, and I've just been, pushing it. No, that ain't how she is. That ain't how. So I can't blame all her. You know what I do now? I just don't call her no more.
Mm-hmm.
She's limited from my life. She don't know nothing about what's going on with me no more. God do give you warnings. You do see it in the beginning.
Absolutely.
You see it in the beginning.
I was just going to say, when it comes to death and illness in the family, that's when you decide. That definitely shows you who you can trust to be a relative and who you can trust to be family, unfortunately. So I'm dealing with my situation, and I just found out a whole bunch of stuff last weekend that I wish I didn't know, wish I didn't hear about, I wish I didn't find out, because it really has deepened my resentment to members who share my same DNA. And it has deepened some of the resentment to rage. So, and it all is because of the death of my mother and my grandmother. But now, as of this week, I'm dealing with an extended family member who just passed, and it's foul play due to a family member. And woo, that's different. And then there's an extended loved one who has a parent who is in hospice, and their relatives are performing as untrustworthy people at this point. And it's like, why does it take these things for you to see it? And it's very hurtful, because these are people you grow up trusting your whole life, and to see them as an adult due to death or illness, or the inevitable, to see them perform outside of what you ever trusted them to be is very disheartening. It's very hurtful. It's very painful. I've spent a week in tears over the things I know now that I wish I didn't know, because now I'm full of rage and hate. And dealing with these other two people in their situations, it's very telling, and it makes it even more important that that circle stay as tight as possible, and that includes the people who we used to call family, who are just related by blood. That's all. And I know people love to say blood is thicker than water, but water tastes better. Just that simple.
Well, I don't think you're supposed to drink blood.
Yeah. But it's some fucking vampires in your family.
Well, which one gives more life, water or blood? That's probably what we need to take a look at. I never really thought of that question before. Which one gives more life? Which one is more essential?
I think blood gives more life, but unfortunately, you need water to sustain it.
That's true.
And sometimes you have to filter blood.
He always asking questions when your mind got to think.
That's right. We need to think about these things because people always be throwing out cliches.
You have to have blood to live. You have to have water to sustain the blood.
You definitely can't.
If the blood is bad, you have to filter the blood. And that's what happens in these familiar relationships. You have to filter the bad blood out in order for you to sustain life. And that's what I do. I'm filtering out these niggas who are bad blood. And unfortunately, now we have 2 more situations where these people are bad blood. And they need to be filtered out too, so these other people can sustain their lives. Well, one can't. One cannot at this point because of bad blood. So there's that.
Yeah, it's hard when the people that are closest to you or have been the closest to you are the ones that sell you out. Well, no, I don't like, knowing me is one thing. But doing right by me is a whole different thing. And I don't live a life where you have to do a whole lot to do right by me. You know, because I don't really rely on a whole lot of people, you know. However, I've experienced people being creative in learning how to do somebody wrong. And when you want to receive an end of that, that don't have to happen to you a whole lot of times before you decide to reshuffle the deck in your own favor. Like, all right, then fuck this shit. You know what I mean? Like, I used to play pity pat. Now I'm only playing I declare war or whatever. You know what I'm saying? It's just it's tough when the people that you've been rocking with, I don't care whether it's been since the cradle or since the sandbox, the seesaw, the merry-go-round, the swings, or the basketball court. When you get an indication that all of the time that has been spent and put in and solidified could easily be broken by this one act, and they decided to go through with it. It's like, wow. Because it's easy to feel like if a person that was that close to me could do me dirty, imagine what new nigga could do.
Exactly.
He don't even have no ties. And that's not to say that some new people aren't good, because some are. But because you've been betrayed in your trust, or should I say, since you've had your trust betrayed, now you're going to audit the new person closely, if you have any sense. Now, we probably all know people who just love new people. They love the new. You know? I mean, they love the new. They keep somebody new coming on all the time.
Listen, Bump just said something that was so prolific in my opinion. He said a lot of people need to be on mental and spiritual dialysis on a regular basis. That's a bar, because that hits in a different kind of way, and it's so factual. It is the truth.
It's actual. It's actual and factual. The thing is, will their mentality and spirituality line up correctly with yours? Everybody has their mentality and their spirituality, but if it doesn't align with yours, then it ain't worth shit. Especially, I'm just saying. We talk about spirituality. You would think that every time you talk about spirituality, you're talking about something good, until you run into that one motherfucker where you be like, and he's serious about this shit. You know what I mean? Blood gets shed in the name of spirituality. We had to get him up out of here because he wasn't spiritual enough. So you just don't know for sure with everybody. But with the people who you know for sure that you can trust, they need to be coveted. They really do. Because that shit don't come a dime a dozen. And you can't change the world around you easily. But you can change the world within you. And sometimes that world that you have changed inside of you comes off as being bitter. And sometimes I understand.
You know, my cousin. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, sometimes I understand, but the thing is, you know, bitterness comes off a certain kind of way. But how many times do you got to get fucked up before you decide, yo, my guard is up all day?
You know what I mean? Sometimes it takes a while for us to learn. Because my cousin and I were thick as thieves. Like that was my ride or die. At least I thought she was for a long time.
I mean, she was when I met you.
Messed it up one time. Huh?
I said she was when I met you. It's still hard to hear you talk about that. I'm like, this.
And a lot of people feel like that. Her mother just had a conversation with me about that this morning. I'm like, I love you, Auntie, but please stop talking to me about that. And it's your daughter. But please stop, please, because I love you. Because I just don't want things to ever be like they used to be. I don't want them to be anything. And it took a lot out of me for me to make that decision. But I realized I cannot trust her ever again in life. And that was very difficult for me. Very difficult. Because we've been through a lot of things together. But this last thing, I had to sit back and really think about everything from top to bottom, from day one, from inside to out, to really realize, damn, she been a bitch this whole time. Like, this motherfucker ain't been trustworthy for a long time. But I loved her so much that I overlooked the shit.
Yeah.
And I trusted my son in her. I trusted my son's life with her because she's his godmother. And so I overlooked those things. I still trust my son with her because I'm still his godmother. And she's never brought no harm to him per se. But I can't trust me with her. So I had to let her go. And she's just who she is. She's not family like that to me anymore. And it's hard for me to say that to people because it puts everybody feeling like they're in the middle. And that's why I try not to bring it up. But I tell them, don't bring the shit up to me. So I don't have to say nothing to make you feel like you're in the middle. And that's what I ask the people. Because everybody wants it to be the same again. And because I'm the older, they want me to be the bigger person. Fuck that. Never again. I'm good. Because I had to trust me to protect me. And in order for that to happen, I have to let that shit go. I have to let the people go who I can't trust in my circle, who I can't trust me with. So.
You know, you bring up a interesting point because for real, like, it's funny how love can foster trust. Even when you know a person is a little fucked up, it doesn't mean like a person that you love can do a whole lot of untrustworthy shit, but you might still trust them because of the love. And it's like when that shit finally all breaks down and you have to see and you like, just like you were saying, now you started to notice all of the little grimy shit that she was doing and all of that. It didn't make you not trust her before because y'all belong to each other. It's like, all right, yeah. Nobody in my circle, nobody in my family, nobody in my life is perfect. But as long as they don't do me dirty, or as long as they understand limits, then there won't be a problem. Like I can check them, they can check me, and everything will be all right. But then it might get to the point where they are unable to be checked. They violated. They went too far. They crossed the line. They went over. And now it's like, now what? Like the fuck? You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah. So now all of the other grimy shit starts to come into focus.
You just start noticing. I remember we used to hang out and do shit. We be doing shit together, dirty streets. Motherfucker gets caught, she goes telling on everybody. It's like, you done told on me, now you done started some shit. The fuck? But I let it go because I love her.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, cousin's just scared because of what's happening. So, all right, I'm gonna let it go. But then as we moved on, it just got to be more and more stuff. And like I said, after everything, I sat back and looked at it, and I was like, oh man, she's been doing this shit for a minute, for a long time. And I've been stuck. I have been wearing blinders because of love. Because I love my cousin, I do. I don't wish no harm on her right now. And if somebody called and said somebody was going to do something terrible to her, I probably have to let Michelle go and come and step in. But other than that, no, I don't want to talk on the phone and tell you my business. I don't want to know your business. I just want to know you okay. That's the end of it to me.
Mm-hmm.
But anything else, I'm good. I'm super duper good. And it's sad, but that's where we are. My mother's siblings, so sorry. That oldest sister of hers, that was my favorite auntie. That oldest brother of hers, that was my favorite uncle. Fuck them people hard. And I mean it. And I struggle. And I'm saying this because I struggle with the things this uncle and this aunt are doing right now that are terrible to everybody. I struggle because I know one of them is probably going to end up going to jail. And I struggle because my brother's like, fuck him, let him go. But I'm like, he is 80 years old. He is not going to be able to survive in anybody's jail. And I struggle because I don't wish harm on him. But sir, you are nothing to me in the sense. And that's a tough one. Because there's still that little piece of, I still love you because you are blood, because you are related. You are my mother's brother, my grandmother's son. So it makes it very hard and difficult. It does. But fuck you.
Yeah, I mean, you know, you can't you can't erase your history. So people who have had a place in your heart will always have a certain place there. But it may have to be overridden right now. You know what I mean? Or for the foreseeable future. Like, nah, it ain't never gonna be. You can never get back to the place that you were before when you were ignorant. You can't go back there. That's the fucked up part. Some people can't deal with that part of life. Like when you were in your ignorance, whether it was blissful ignorance, whether it was willful ignorance, you can't ever go back there again. You got kicked out of that crib. It's like when a young bird when it's his time to fly. It's time to you got to leave the nest. You got to go make your own. It's time. You can't go back. I always wondered, like, do birds ever be like, all right, I got my own crib, but I go wash my clothes at my mama bird house. You know what I'm saying? Like, evidently they can't do that. But yeah, that's a discouraging thing to a lot of people. The fact that they cannot get back to that place where they didn't know before. You can never go back to not knowing again. And it's sad for some people.
I don't want to try again. Because what, we going to build a new relationship? Because I'm not going to forget anything from the past, so we can't build nothing new. And we can't go back, so we're wasting time. That's how I look at it.
Well,
my ex, I had to completely cut him loose. And Lord knows I still love that man. I don't want to be with him because I'm not the person for him. Let me be clear. I love him, but I'm not the person. I cannot be the woman who needs me to be. I am cognitive of that. I think he's in the best place he is with the woman he's with now because she's everything to him that I could never be. But he was my friend for so long. But because he does not understand boundaries, and I feel like he has crossed the line of disrespect because he doesn't understand boundaries, I had to step back and make the decision to cut the strings completely. And it's hurtful. And now he's saying, okay, can we get past that and start over? No, we can't start over. We can't start over a history of friendship. We can't start over the relationship we had and intimacy. We can't start over anything, and we can't go back to it. So to me, there is no reason for us to move forward with anything. The string has to stay cut.
Yeah. Once you have this part right here. Once you have accepted that somebody is not a good person, I don't see how you can ever fucking go back there again. If they leave you something behind that you can hold on to, like, you know what, they did this fucked up shit and it was ill, but they got a lot of good inside. They're a decent person. Once you see that there's less good in them than there is evil, bad, you know what I mean, toxic, messiness, it's a wrap. And that's what a lot of people don't seem to understand about when you don't want to return to an area. You know, have you ever had to tell somebody else that they can't fuck with somebody anymore? You can't really tell them that they can't, but you have to kind of tell them, you have to discourage them at all costs, like not to go back and try to be friends or lovers with somebody else. Cause like, yo, that motherfucker or that bitch, she don't care about you. I mean, like, there ain't no good in them. They just coming back. They want you back in their life so they can finish you off.
Ooh. That part, finish you off. That
they gonna top you off. It's over. And it's like that sometimes. And you know, it's hard enough trying to deal with your own shit, but you trying to protect somebody else. And they ain't, you know, and you see them trying to creep their way back into that situation. And it's like, damn. But I mean, it's once I see that you're not a good person, like, oh, you don't have good in you. Oh, that changes the whole game for me.
it does.
But everybody can't see it.
Understand how some people trust people they trust again. I don't understand how some people trust people again, and I'm always looking at it. You know, one person I trust, I would trust again and give another chance to be cordial would be my son's father. That's only because when things were happening, I was too immature and I was not forewarned about where his mental status was. I did not understand when he came back from the military where he really was in life. I was too young and immature to really grasp the concept of what PTSD meant, what being in the military meant, how that can break people. I did understand. And unfortunately, his mother didn't trust me enough to give me a heads up and explain it to me. So to me, it looked like this nigga just a deadbeat dad, and he's a psychopath because he's trying to run my household and run it like he owns me. But what I didn't know was he really was dealing with mental shit. Like coming over to my place and acting a fool. That wasn't him trying to be controlling of me. That was him trying to control life. Mm-hmm. That was him not even having a grasp on his own reality. And it took a lot of different things for me to make the decision. I don't care if he never pay a dime of child support ever again in life. This dude cannot be around my son because he is going to kill himself and kill my baby too. And I cannot trust him around him or me. It took a long time for me to get that reality. And now that I've matured and I'm older, and I still see that he is still in that place, he never got recovery from it. He never got any of the real help he needed because we know the VA don't give a fuck about our veterans. So he never got anything from it. He still was in that mentality of, I'm a Marine, and Marines don't get help, and I got this. And because he believed that, because he trusted the United States government, He never got the help he needed. He's never been okay. He's still where he was for the most part. But I have empathy for him. So if I was ever trust a person again, I can't even consider anything in the past because all of that was a part of lack of trust any of us had for this government. Because he trusted him to protect him and do the right thing. And I trusted him to protect him and do the right thing. He went into the military a boy, he came back a broken, torn apart boy.
Yeah.
So if I was ever to do that, he has a reason. He would have a reason for me to not trust him, because I still think he is a scary person, unfortunately. And I hate saying that because I've known him since I was 14 years old, and I've always been able to feel safe around him. For the day I wasn't. And one day I knew our son wasn't. And that day I had to make a decision that I can never, ever trust this man around us ever again, unfortunately. So I don't trust my safety around him because I don't know if he may have a trigger and snap. But, and in the same token, I could go back, be forgiven for some things and have a conversation with him. Now, I'm not going to go over to his place. I'm not going to let him come over mine. Sorry, I just can't.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not bitter or angry with him because now as an adult, I understand that he couldn't even take care of himself. He was out of control of himself. I've seen him come to my place and act a psychopath to the point where I'm like, nigga, I'm not calling the police. I'm going to call my brothers to take you out of your misery. Because I don't know what's happening here, but you got to get the hell out of here. And I don't want the police involved. I want something else to happen to you. I'm glad I didn't choose that path. I'm glad it didn't come down to that. But in hindsight, I'm like, I wish I knew then what I know now. I wish I knew the signs then that I know now. And I understand now he couldn't even be a human to himself. He couldn't protect himself. He couldn't protect my baby. He couldn't protect himself.
Mm-hmm.
So that is a case of where, okay, I can walk back some of it. But when it comes to somebody who's cognitive of what they're doing, like my cousin, she was cognitive of the shit she did and the shit she still does. No, girl. Bye.
Yeah. That is the difference. That is the difference. When they know what they did. And it's amazing how people want to be retrusted and given another chance after some shit like that. Woo. And they don't seem to understand. I mean, I don't know how they can miss the impact that would of what they did, or how that had an effect on their victims. But I guess that's what being a bad person is all about.
I don't think everybody really understands the concept of trust and loyalty. I don't really think a lot of people really understand that 100%. Like, I think a lot of, and I don't mean a lot, I don't think majority, but I think there's a nice percentage of adults who think that is just based on relationships with a partner. And it's so much more than that. Like, people who spend their time talking about, well, this bad relationship with this person because of trust, and it's deeper. It's deeper than that because we have been raised to believe these words in this book. So you have to always go by because your family or these are the people you grew up with, all bets are off. No matter what happens, y'all still have to rock with each other. Because that's all we got. Family's all we got. Family over everything. That's bullshit. Because India Reed said it best. Can't nobody hurt you more than your kids. And that's a fact. And that's because we are taught that you have to get over anything when it comes to these people. Like people tell children all the time and as adults, that's your mother. Why would you act like that? That's your mother. I don't care. That still was your mother. Their mother could have been the worst bitch on the planet, but you want somebody to sit here and let it go because it's their mother. And I don't believe in that. I don't. Some people are so fucked up because of their mother, and I know several. They are messed up because their mother was the worst individual on the fucking planet. And some of these people are stuck in that family over everything. It's your mother, and they can't even be responsible or productive adults and be better to their children because they have been trained to believe that you trust your parents all the time. Like people love to quote the Bible, honor thy mother and father, but they don't want to go to the next part. They don't want to talk about don't take a child to wrath. Don't get fucked out under that. They just like to say honor thy mother and father so your days can be longer on the planet or whatever the rest of it is. But that's bullshit. And that's why I think a lot of people don't understand that you can't expect mature adult people who have grown into life and reality to go back and take your bullshit all over again. You have people who understand what truth is, have a right to say, no, I don't want to do this with you ever again. Because again, what we going to start a new relationship? Although I already know you, that's dumb. And what, I'm going to go back and pick up where we left off? So you do the shit again? That's dumb too. No, and no. I'm sorry. That's just how I feel about it. And I know there are some people who will feel different. That's fine. I know there's some people going to feel like what the Bible says. That's fine. I don't even trust that shit. Truth be told. So there you got it.
All right. We're going to go to these poll questions and we're going to get on up out of here. Yeah. Let's go to the poll question. Poll question is, would you ever date or become seriously involved with someone with a history of drug abuse? Would you?
I think it's a possibility you can.
Okay.
Because does that make them a bad person, or does that make them a person who was dealing with some shit in life that you didn't deal with, or somebody who chose a different method of comforting themselves or soothing themselves? Because most of us choose some kind of addiction or another. It just may not be one that everybody's looking at and saying in a negative way. Because we always say alcoholism and drug addiction are the worst. But there are so many other addictions that people pick up to soothe themselves. Like my auntie now, she's not seeing anybody about the loss of her mother and the loss of her boyfriend, her man, who she was with for a long time. So to soothe herself, she's eating like a psychopath. And I recognize it. Nobody else recognizes it. But that's her addiction. That's how she's soothing herself. Mm-hmm. So am I going to stop loving her or love her any less because that's her choice of addiction? That's her vice. So I think you can. I think you can love somebody who has a history of it, and now they've gotten themselves clean, and now they've gotten better. Hell, look at Sam Jackson and LaToya. She supported her man through a situation. Now look where they are. Or LaTanya.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, a lot of people have gotten serious or dated people who have been on drugs, but I was asking about you personally.
Me personally, yeah, I could.
Okay. Stacey, you?
Not no more.
Okay, but you have.
I have, and I choose not to go in it with my eyes open when it comes to drugs.
Okay.
They wasn't doing it, but they had been doing it. And when that stuff come back on you, that stuff is, I wouldn't put myself through that no more. I ain't going into no crack houses to get nobody out. I just, my doggone life could be a damn movie. No.
One thing is for sure, dealing with somebody who was either a alcoholic or a drug addict is not for the weak. It's not for the weak, but it has
It's
a lot to
not.
do. It has a lot to do with how evolved and removed from their addiction that the person has gotten to. All right, so let's see.
Yeah, I thought that's what you meant in the past. I didn't think you meant current.
I'm saying period. It's the poll question. You know what I mean? Like there. Well, when you when you hear the answers, you'll see that some people feel like. Well, we'll see how they feel. Will you ever date someone or become seriously involved with someone with a history of drug abuse? And 29% said yes, as long as their years clean. In other words, as long as not they only 90 days clean and shit. Like, nah, you ain't ready to date. You know,
they have a history of cleanliness from years behind them.
Well,
Them drugs is that drugs is something else. If you ever been in love or been involved with somebody that been on crack, I don't, forgive me, Jesus, but I think crack is more powerful than Jesus. I'm sorry.
Well, it has been compared, but when we talk about a history of drug abuse, we're not talking about. We may be talking about somebody that was in and out, tried to get clean, relapsed.
And then I've been with somebody, been with somebody that was fighting, had the taste, and was trying to fight it, and no, not knowing. But it's been a lot of dudes out here that have covered up, and I can't spot them, but and I gotta get better at that. But me with my eyes open and they telling me no,
it ain't easy.
It's a wrap.
Yeah, it ain't easy.
No.
All right.
It ain't. It's not. No.
All right.
It's hard. It's a whole life. Yeah.
50% of the people polled said no, you can never shake it off. So half of the people feel like no, once a drug addict, always a drug addict. And unfortunately, that's what NA says. They say once you've been, once you have been a drug addict, you're a drug addict for life. I don't like that they say that. You know what I mean? The same thing with alcoholism. I don't believe that you are an addict for life. I've never accepted that. I think that they have a particular motivation for saying that you're that for life. It could be, making sure that you keep your membership, popping. There could be monetary motivations behind that, or it could be so you would never stop trying. You know what I mean? Like maybe once you believe that you're not an addict anymore, you feel like, well, I could just do this recreationally like it started out. No. So, anyway, 8% said I would have to do a full physical. In other words, some people know that when you're a drug addict, you get into all kinds of shit. You know what I mean? You might not be a clean body. It's just real shit. A body full of toxins. And 12% say, why not? I've used drugs before. Yes, you may have used drugs before, but were you an addict? There's a difference. There's a difference between a user and an abuser. There's a big difference. But I could understand the understanding that comes along, or the sympathy towards, people who have done it, to those who may still be struggling. I can understand empathizing with them and working with them. I can understand it. But yeah.
Well, I would never want to be a hypocrite. I have relatives in my family who were doing drugs when we were kids, when we were teenagers, when we were in our youth. And I've seen their growth. I've seen them get clean and live productive lives and never turn back to it. But at the same time, that would make me a hypocrite. How can I don't dislike my family members who have done that? And unfortunately, some are still there, and most have gotten their shit together. Yeah, and I love them. I don't love them any less. I don't love the ones who are still out there any less. I still love these people. So how could I tell a partner who had cleaned up their lives and say, well, you used to use drugs back in 1999, so get out of my face. That what kind of hypocrite does that make me?
No.
And now this person is progressive in society. They living a good life. They doing all the right things. They got their shit together. They haven't looked back. They not using any other drugs. They're not even smoking cigarettes. Maybe their addiction is cookies. I don't know. But I'm just saying that would make me a hypocrite to be like, nah, I can't fuck with you because you use drugs. I love. Here's my auntie over here. I love her, and they say, oh, I met her at Crack House. That's dumb. No, I can't do that.
No,
I never know what the person's walking.
I'm not a hypocrite, and I had some relatives in my family. One relative in my family that I didn't have nothing to do. I helped her as much as I could, but I wasn't around her. She never got clean. And I don't feel that I'm a hypocrite because I choose my man and my type of man that I want. I don't want him to have no drugs. I don't care about alcohol. I haven't experienced somebody being with alcohol but drugs. I don't want to go through that. I had a friend hook me up with somebody that was had been on drugs, didn't give me a choice not to know that this person was on drugs. And I done did that twice. I do not want to go through that again. That is something to go through, and lucky I haven't been with these guys. They was nice guys. And they never hit me or never abused me. It's just the little stupid stuff that crack have people doing.
Mm-hmm. I'll say this. I can't judge anybody for entering that situation. I'll put it this way. I can't judge anybody for not entering that situation. And I would just pray for somebody who does. That's all I can say.
Yep.
For me personally, I would really have to see whether you have traded one addiction for, like, just not doing drugs or alcohol anymore is one thing. Have you traded in those behaviors, that energy? Because that's the hardest thing to shake off. You can stop doing the thing, but have you stopped the ways that that brought you to that place anyway?
I had a person that stopped and started eating, and then he took it to drinking.
Yeah, man.
And he and drinking a lot. Mm-hmm.
Nah, that's not trade nothing. You know what I mean? That's just one.
That's the one I wouldn't deal with. No, I got my own problems. You got to deal with them on your own.
I mean, but
I'm talking about somebody who's cleaned themselves up and got their shit together. I'm not gonna be a hypocrite and be like, well, if you did drugs, then I'm gonna leave you alone.
No, like I said, I understand. I mean, there ain't no wrong answers here. It's on you. You can't tell nobody else what to do or how to feel, but you can control that. You can decide that for yourself. Just know that either way, it's a risk.
Yep.
You know what I mean? You're gambling either way.
I'm not going. That's not when they that stolen in transaction. That crack is something else. It is something else. And it'd be the good people they get.
Any addiction is something else. Any addiction is something else. We just can't just confine it to.
No, we just talking about drugs. We just talking about drugs right now.
It's the lowest. It ain't just any addiction. Crack is the lowest of the low.
Crack.
It takes a weak man, a person, to use crack. Period.
We gotta go.
No, I don't agree with that.
Yeah, we gotta go. I want to thank y'all for coming. I'm coming on the show. I appreciate all of your commentary, your insight, and your professionalism. I want y'all to have a great day, wonderful day. And I'll talk to you guys later.
If I don't speak to you, have a happy birthday. I'll be in the chat, but if I don't speak to you till the end, have a happy birthday.
Thank you.
If I don't speak to you, I don't call in.
All right.
Happy birthday, Urban Night. And for everybody else, if you are in the storm area, stay safe. And if you're in the hot space, stay hydrated. Have a good one, everybody.
All right, y'all. Peace.
I'm out.
One love. We have some birthday shout outs to do. Some people were born on this glorious Glorious, glorious. July 26th, and they deserve to be acknowledged. So let's go about our business of acknowledging them and making them feel special because they are special because they are special because they are SPECIAL. They get the RESPECT. They are SPECIAL. They get the RESPECT. They are SPECIAL. They get the RESPECT. They get number one out the box, Dolly Ann Campbell. Happy birthday. And also Sharon Jones. I wonder if that's Sharon. I don't know. What do y'all think? SHERON? All right. And Valerie Barron, Cindy Bodden, Muhammad Shakur, Rashida Krisden, Bill Simon, Sharon Holden, LaShawn Awa Selby. Last but not least, I want to say happy birthday to all of y'all. And I hope that today finds you all in good health, happiness, mind, body, soul, and spirit. And that goes out to each and every person out there born on this glorious July 26th, anywhere out there in the world, worldwide, internationally, and universally. All of y'all go ahead and turn up. But don't turn up too loud. Just turn up loud enough so everybody can hear you. Rock out. Rock on and do the damn, to rock out. Rock on and do the damn, rock out. Rock on and do the damn thing. You do your thing, y'all. Represent the queens and kings. You do your thing, y'all. Represent the queens and kings. Good things happen to those who wait. Great things happen to those who grind. And anything can happen to those who go for theirs. So go hard, go for yours. And remember, yo, I used to trust you just like I trusted my right hand, but I fell down later on. You wasn't my man. You wasn't even a good plan. You wasn't the kind of person that I would ever put on the stand. You was a teller. You was a tolder. You should have had my right man on my shoulder, or should I say the angel right there, but you changed up on me and act like you didn't care. And then you want to say, yeah, can we be like we were before? Fuck out of here. And it be like that sometimes, but I know the people in my life right now always make me shine. They got my back, but I'm going to make sure they don't have to do it all the time because it's not like that. Life be hard sometimes, man, especially when you ain't got them grooming grinding hands. Yo, the right hand, don't tell the right hand what your left hand is doing. That's what they say. Yo, two in the bucket. Yo, I say, fuck it. I should have said 2 tears, but yo, yeah. Life goes on and elders die and babies get born and a whole lot of things right up in the middle. I say, hey, diddle. Yo, the rainbow eating Skittles. I don't know. Sometimes it just be rambling. Sometimes I'll be like, what up, dog? Yo, what's happening? Things gonna be all right because the man up above said, yo, you shine bright. Peace to all my day ones, my everydays, and my brand news. I love y'all to death. Resuscitate y'all. Love y'all right back to life. We will be back tomorrow night, 1 a.m. going into 1 a.m., Monday going into Tuesday. So make sure y'all come through for the Daily Go Get 'Emism show. I hope y'all enjoyed listening to this show as much as I enjoyed broadcasting it, because I really did enjoy it. Make sure y'all hit the like button on your way out if you haven't done so. And subscribe to the channel if you haven't done that either. We have fun over here. Peace, y'all.